Okay, we are in the wonderful position of knowing what to get done, how to get it done, and we are excited about getting it done. So let's get it done. I discovered a new term recently called drip pricing. Do you know how you go on Airbnb and then you're like, oh, that looks reasonable. And then you check out and then there's a service fee, a cleaning fee, taxes, some other fee. Or you go on like DoorDash and you're like, oh, that's reasonable. Tip, service fee, Airbnb fee. Like Airbnb and DoorDash aren't even the same company. I think it's probably fair to say that that is like one of my biggest pet peeves right now. I don't even know how it's legal. I want to see the price. Like, how is it legal for somebody to say that this is the price and then afterwards say, oh, actually there's this price? No, just tell me the real price. And can we also, for that matter in the US, start including tax in the price? Like, can you just tell me what the final price is from the start so I know how much I'm gonna be spending? Like, if we want to have a fair and honest society, we gotta like start being honest and fair with each other on the simplest matters. A simple money exchange is such a simple thing. It should not be complicated by all of these percentages and fees. Oh man, it's killing me, man. It's killing me. Okay, we'll hold the phone. I decided to look this up and see if price transparency was like actually a thing that was gonna start happening. And apparently Airbnb has announced the option to show all fees up front in the search results. I don't use Airbnb anymore anyway because it's not cheap anymore. When Airbnb first came around, it was awesome. It was like, oh, all of this venture capital money is just making it so everything is cheap. But now I would much rather go to a hotel. Hotels, they tell you what the price is. It's very straightforward. Hotels over Airbnbs like 90% of the time, unless you wanna like rent a house. Let's get price transparent, just tell me the price. Okay, further addendum. It's like an option to turn it on. It's not by default. And it says early access, one total price up front. You can now see the total price up front, including all fees before taxes. It's still before tax. Okay, one step at a time. But it says try now, maybe later. Oh, let's go for that run. Dog walking. You know, despite the extreme cold today, the somewhat icy conditions, I'm feeling pretty good. Might be motivated though to hurry up and finish because it's so cold though. That might be the current source of my speed. Yeah, feeling pretty good, but we're gonna keep it short today. Mouth is frozen, my footsteps. Oh man. Oh! So, you know that song Dance Off by Macklemore? It opens with Idris Elba challenging somebody to a dance off, right? And I was like, you know, I bet Idris Elba can't dance because nobody should be that talented in that many different fields. Look it up, he can. I've talked about this before, but if you don't have Asian parents, you don't know what an awesome experience this is, but they will just randomly give you stuff out of the blue and you may or may not need it. But more often than not, I'm like, oh, that's very helpful. Bunch of nice socks and some McDonald's right as I'm eating lunch. Timing could not have been better. I feel extremely unfocused today, but it doesn't feel like pulling teeth. So let's just get back to work. All right, let's get back to work. Winter episode. Let's do it. Okay, check out this shot and tell me, how does this make you feel? This shot was taken on our hike out on the last day, and it was a perfectly quiet day way up in the distance, you can see a plane just flying across the sky. Something about this like puts in perspective everything. And you're just like, man, all of these like things that you just deal with on a day-to-day basis are so divorced from reality. Like reality is standing in a field and listening to the sounds around you. Maybe it's just because of the contrast of standing in that field and everything is so simple. And then you look up at that plane in the sky and you just know all of these people in there are like going somewhere and doing stuff, and just like the effort and complication it took to get people up there. There's just something like comforting about this. The sound of the airplane going by and just like the simplicity of it, and you don't have to be part of the complication up there. It's something like, I don't know. Now it is time to go run in the freezer. Coat, hoodie, shirt. Now it is 22 degrees Fahrenheit right now, but hopefully that will be enough to keep my core warm, and my extrapolations will be warm too. And by extrapolations, I mean my appendages. Feeling good. I definitely feel like I'm starting to get back in shape a little bit. I feel like my body is actually accepting the exercise and appreciating it too. And what do you know? I'm actually quite warm. Oh, you know what else is great? Running on a completely empty stomach. Nothing sucks quite as much as running with food in your stomach. Oh, that is not pleasant. Nonetheless, it is time to put food in the stomach. You know what show's hilarious? What We Do in the Shadows. Matt Berry's delivery is just too good. Maybe this is super obvious to everyone else, but everything is so context sensitive. While I was editing this episode, I was thinking about cameras, and depending on the situation you're in, the things that you look for are so different. Like you can just completely ignore certain things if you're using a tripod. Or just like these house shoes that I wear. These are like the greatest house shoes ever. Remember yesterday when I was talking about Asian parents just give you things? My dad just gave me these shoes. Unprompted, didn't ask if I need them or anything, was just like, here. Well, my dad seems to know what I want and need, like way more often than you think would be possible, which opens up a whole nother conversation about how your parents oftentimes know what's best for you because they created you and are probably pretty similar to you in a lot of ways. But it is still the duty of the younger generation to rebel against the parents, even if it's against their own interests, so that we can get some new ideas into the mix. But I digress. The point is that these house slippers are great for in the house, but they would be terrible everyday shoes because they don't have laces. So you can't ask yourself, what is the perfect shoe? You have to ask yourself, what is the perfect shoe for my needs? And as much as I want to have everything just like all in one, like, where's my phone at? Sometimes you can get a device that does pretty much everything all in one device, and it's fantastic, and you're like, oh man, that's great. And sometimes you can have a perfect setup like this where this computer can be a desktop or it can be a laptop. Fantastic. When things can converge down into one unit, great. But sometimes you gotta think about the context of what you need for what situation. All right, and what I need is to continue. Okay, music workstation set up and ready to go. I feel like I haven't written music in a long time. How long has it been? Not that long. It's only like a month. Well, I'm feeling pretty refreshed. Yeah, we'll come back to this tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one. See you in the next one. as much as I want to lock the white balance,